Jai Shri Namaste. Welcome. My name is Vikram Shastri and I am representing Vedic Sadhana Foundation. Thank you very much for all of you for being here. So before we start off, can you please let me know, am I audible? Is the video okay? We'll quickly do a audio video check and then we are off to the wonderful session that's been curated for you today. Wonderful or not, you have to tell us after the end of the session. Excellent. Alrighty. So let's begin. Thank you again for being here on a Sunday. Today is an auspicious day, and many of you probably already know it. If not, you are at the right place. Mansi ji, our senior sadhak, will be taking us through why today is auspicious and what are the auspicious days in the coming 10 days, and what is the relevance and what are we supposed to be doing to take the best of this moment. So without further ado, let me share my screen and we shall get started. Okay, so I hope you are able to see my screen as well. One second. Yes. So well, this is, as you can see, welcome to Shakti Mahotsav. And what is Shakti Mahotsav? How should we go about celebrating, participating, and taking the best out of this is what we are here for discussion today. Mansi ji will come in just a minute. I will quickly do an introduction. I know many of you already know about Vedic Sadhana Foundation, also about Tantra Sadhana. However, we know there are many of you today who are attending this who do not know about us. So I will quickly take you through a little bit more about us in just a minute and then hand over the session to Mansi ji. Some of you are wondering if the session is going to be only in English. We will try to keep this session in English to the best of our ability and ensure that even if you follow Hindi in a better way, you will get that soon. Well, who are we? As I said, we represent a non-profit called Vedic Sadhana Foundation, and we are a unique non-profit that we are a technology-first non-profit, which means our aim is very, very simple: to revive Vedic practices authentically and what we call as the Vedic glory of our ancient India through technology and make it available to all of us. So far, more than 2 million plus sadhaks have performed practices, rituals through the variety of apps that VSF has, and more than 18 million plus rituals have been done so far. So our aim is simple, that although all of us know that, our roots are from the Vedas, many of us probably will never open any Vedas book and read and try to understand it ourselves. So our aim is simple: to present these practices from the Vedas, let's call it interactive Vedas, through technology in the comfort of our home, so that all of us can actually take value from these scriptures, from the benefits that have been passed on through millennia through the Guru Shishya Parampara. Well, we are founded by Sri Om Swamiji. He is our founder and the visionary behind all our apps, all the content, all the guidance. He's formerly, before taking on monkhood, a serial entrepreneur, technocrat, an MBA, and founded multiple companies, all of which he, donated before going to the Himalayas to meditate 22 hours per day to seek his truth and to even verify whether whatever the Vedas say, is it true or not. Most of us have read his memoirs, if truth be told. If not, I urge you to pick a copy to really understand his journey, because that is when we can relate and really see that he stands for truth, compassion, and walking the path of self-discovery. Well, it was his vision, and it is his vision to revive the Vedic practices and give it to all for people like us especially me, who have no clue about any of these Vedic scriptures, etc., but now make it very, very accessible through technology. So if you are like me, haven't read any of these Vedic scriptures, obviously any of the apps of Vedic Sadhana Foundation, and you will be in for a treat, because not only can you practice, you can also learn what is it, how to do it, when to do it, and why to do it. And everything will be explained through the comfort of 3D immersive apps. Now, although VSF, as we call ourselves in short, for Vedic Sadhana Foundation, has an umbrella of apps, today we are specifically talking about the event that is going to happen on Tantra Sadhana app. So if at all you are new to Tantra Sadhana app is, yes, an app again, but at the end of the day, when we think of an app, they're all just mediums. Now, when you use a Zepto or a Amazon or even YouTube, they're just mediums for performing different actions in exactly the same way. Tantra Sadhana app is a medium, a 3D immersive medium at that, to perform the practices of Das Mahavidyas. Das Mahavidyas are the 10 Mahavidyas, the wisdom goddesses, Ma Kali, Ma Tara, Chinnamasta, Ma Baglamukhi, and so on, that many of you are already aware of, to perform the sadhanas of these Mahavidyas. Sadhanas, as you know, is a disciplined practice that one does, where we would need to know mantras, fire offerings, deep esoteric sadhanas with detailed steps that needs to be done. Again, if you are like me, typically one may not even know what are these steps, or how do we perform, what are these mantras, how do you even pronounce them properly, and so on. And that's exactly what is given to us by Sri Swamiji through this digital medium of the Tantra Sadhana app. And please note, it follows the Divyachar approach, which is nothing but the fact that you don't need to go anywhere to perform these practices, nor to buy any ingredients or do a physical offering as such, but everything happens internally amongst us. So, which means very, very comfortable to use the app on your mobile phone, wherever you are. Now we can perform and immerse ourselves in the practice. So that's the Tantra Sadhana app. If you have not checked it out already, I urge you to install the app. Now, there are many of you who are attending this session, and thank you for all of you Sadhaks. This is not the first time you're attending. You're attending the probably you've attended many other sessions we have conducted as well. Deep gratitude for all of you for your support. Those of you who are new, though, this is one of the samplers in a way you can think of a session. There will be many, many more sessions that we conduct like this. Please note, if you are new, we are not going to ask you to offer any money upfront or charge you for these practices or these sessions. We take your time very highly in regard, and will ensure that we don't waste your time. And our promise is to give you the truth and only the truth, as Swamiji has guided us. Well, so without further ado, what is that we will be covering today as agenda? Firstly, we'll get an introduction. Shakti Mahotsav kya hai? What is Shakti Mahotsav at all? And what does it comprise of in this month? We will get to be introduced, albeit a little differently, to Ma Matangi. What do I mean? We have conducted many sessions. However, this is going to be a little different. So those of you who have attended earlier sessions, we want to know from you at the end of the session a feedback on how did this one go. A lot of effort has been put in to curate this session. Hopefully, it will pan out the way we envisaged. Well, we will learn about Ma Matangi's manifestation and understand Sri Shyamala Dandakam. There is a reason why we are going to go into this, is because it will help us to understand the Dhyan Shlok of Ma Matangi in a better way. Better allow you to experience this without going into the details. We will also do a visualization meditation of all the three Mahavidyas, Ma Matangi, Ma Baglamukhi, and Ma Chinnamasta, whose Prakatya Diwas manifestation days are coming in this so-called, in this Shakti Mahotsav. Well, we'll also learn about the instructions, the schedule, when to do what, etc., things to take care of. And of course, we will end the session with a Q&A. Now, without further ado, I'll invite Mansi ji. Please, Jai Shri Hari, and over to you.
Jai Shri Hari. So, we will begin with a small invocation for Divine Mother and Guru If you have a guru in physical form, you can meditate on your guru. अगर आपके गुरु शरीर में नहीं है तो आप महादेव के ऊपर ध्यान कर सकते हैं। महादेव का दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वरूप जो कि गुरु का स्वरूप है, उनके ऊपर ध्यान कर सकते हैं। So put our hands together and we'll do the invocation. श्री विद्यां शिव वाम भाग निलयां ह्रींकार मंत्रोज्ज्वलां श्री चक्रांकित बिंदु मध्यवसतीं श्रीमत्सभानायिकां श्रीमच्छण्मुख विघ्नराज जननीं श्रीमज्जगन्मोहिनीं मीनाक्षीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारानिधिं सिन्दूराविग्रहां त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुरत् तारानायक शेखरां स्मितमुखीं मापीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्याम् अलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। सर्वप्रथम मेरा प्रणाम है मेरे गुरु को, जो मेरे लिए साक्षात माँ जगदम्बा और भगवान नारायण है। तत्पश्चात मेरा प्रणाम है आप सभी के भीतर विराजमान उस दिव्य शक्ति को, जिसकी प्रेरणा से आज हम सब यहाँ इस क्षण मौजूद हैं। Seeking the blessings and guidance of my divine master and praying to Ma Jagdamba for Parabhakti, for me and for all the listeners today. At the lotus feet of Divine Mother, I place today's session, and we will begin the first part with understanding a little bit about the Shakti Mahotsav. शक्ति का प्राकट्य माँ के 3 बहुत ही सुंदर और शक्तिशाली स्वरूपों में अगले 10 दिनों में होने वाले हैं। आज से शुरू होकर के 10:30 बजे करीब आज तृतीया की तिथि लग जाएगी और वैशाख का महीना है। बहुत ही शक्तिशाली और सुंदर समय है जहां माँ अपने 10 महाविद्याओं के 10 स्वरूपों में से 3 स्वरूपों का प्राकट्य जो है इस समय में हुआ, अगले 10 दिनों के स्पैन में। और इसीलिए जब भी माँ का प्राकट्य होता है, जब माँ का प्रादुर्भाव होता है, whenever she manifests, it is a time of celebration for the soul. It is a time of celebration for every bhakt who wants to be one with Divine Mother. तो माँ सबसे पहले माँ मातंगी का प्राकट्य दिवस है, जो कि आज 10:30 के बाद अभी शुरू हो जाएगा 19th, and it will continue to almost tomorrow around 20th April. तृतीया की जो तिथि है वो बहुत ही ऑस्पिशियस है, बहुत ही शुभ है, बहुत ही मंगलकारी है आज की, क्योंकि ये अक्षय तृतीया का भी दिन है। आगे चल करके माँ के एक परम भक्त आदि शंकराचार्य की भी जयंती है। तो ये जो पूरा समय है अगले 10 दिनों का, ये बहुत ही एक भक्त के हृदय को प्रफुल्लित करने वाला और शक्ति से संपर्क स्थापित करने का, उनके सायुज्य में उनके सानिध्य में अपने आप को बिठाने का बहुत ही एक सुंदर समय है। तो सर्वप्रथम आज माँ मातंगी का प्राकट्य दिवस से प्रारंभ होगा ये महोत्सव। आगे चल करके माँ बगलामुखी और माँ छिन्नमस्ता का भी प्राकट्य दिवस 23rd, 24th, 23 और 24 अप्रैल को माँ बगलामुखी का प्राकट्य दिवस है, और माँ छिन्नमस्ता का प्राकट्य दिवस 29th एंड 30th ऑफ अप्रैल, 29 और 30 अप्रैल को होगा। और इन सभी 3 महोत्सव के जो दिन है जब माँ का प्राकट्य इन तीनों स्वरूपों में होगा, तो तंत्र साधना ऐप के अंदर एक सीक्रेट श्राइन है जो कि खोल दिया जाएगा सभी भक्तों के लिए, सभी साधकों के लिए, जहां हम माँ के इन 3 स्वरूपों को का आवाहन कर सकते हैं, उनके स्वरूप का ध्यान कर सकते हैं, और केवल इतना ही नहीं, उनके आवाहन के लिए उनको उनके आगे एक दीपक जला करके उनका बहुत ही सुंदर स्वरूप से एक उनको आमंत्रित करके अपने चित्त के भीतर उनके मंत्र का भी जप कर सकते हैं। तो अब सब सर्वप्रथम हम आज के सेशन में आगे बढ़ेंगे श्यामला दंडकम के द्वारा, जो कि हमको महाकवि कालिदास महर्षि द्वारा दिया गया है। और it is such a divine grace that we are all here today, because this is one perfect demonstration of what divine grace can do, how divine grace can take us from whatever current level we are in as a sadhak, as a bhakt, to the highest level possible. And this particular Shyamala Dandakam, it is a neology to Ma Matangi, written by Kavi Kulguru Kalidas Maharshi. It shows how does a person under the shower of Mother's grace truly blossoms. Bhukam karoti vachalam pangum langayete girim यथ कृपा तमहम वंदे परमानंदम माधवम। कि माँ की, भगवान की जब कृपा होती है तो एक गूंगा व्यक्ति भी जो है वो बोलने लगता है, एक लंगड़ा व्यक्ति भी जो है वो चलने लग पड़ता है, पहाड़ पार कर पाता है। तो ऐसी कृपा होती है जब भगवान की, तो छप्पड़ फाड़ के, जैसे स्वामी जी कहते हैं ना, जब माँ की कृपा होती है तो छप्पड़ फाड़ के माँ देती हैं, बिल्कुल। तो before we begin, there's a little story which has already been published on our YouTube channel of Tantra Talks about Kalidas Maharaj and how his transformation occurred. Just keeping it very brief, I will just go through the story in a short while right now, because this sets us into the bhav of how somebody who attained parabhakti called out to Divine Mother. तो कालिदास बनने से पहले जो कालिदास थे वो अनाथ थे। उनका नाम भी क्या था ये कहीं स्पष्ट रूप से प्रकाशित नहीं किया गया है। He didn't know who he was. वो जिसको कहते हैं ना तो सुशिक्षित थे, ना वो सुसंस्कृत थे, वो उनको मूर्ख कहा जाता था। जो भी उनको देखता था वो यही कहता था कि ये कैसा मूर्ख है। He was an absolute embarrassment to himself, and everything he did, everything he said, his very existence reflected just sheer ignorance. And एक दिन जो है वो अपने एक लकड़ी की टहनी पर, पेड़ पर बैठे हुए थे, और जिस टहनी पर वो बैठे थे उसी को वो काट रहे थे, not realizing that he himself would fall. And at that time, a royal priest secretly watched him doing something like this, and he realized that he is a Mahamurkh. अब ये जो priest था, ये जो एक ब्राह्मण थे, ये वहां का जो राज्य था, वहां के राज्य के सभासद थे, और वहां की जो प्रिंसेस थी, जो राजकुमारी थी, उनसे एक उनको बड़ा लगाव था। वो चाहते थे कि उनसे उनकी शादी हो जाए, उनका पाणी ग्रहण संस्कार उनसे कर दिया जाए। पर जो राजा था वो कहता है उनसे कि आप जाकर के राजकुमारी के लिए एक सुयोग्य वर को ढूंढें। So he gets very offended. He says, I am right here in front of you. I'm so knowledgeable. I'm so wise. And you are unable to see this. And he felt very humiliated, very offended. And he decided to take revenge. तो एक ऐसे बदले की भाव से उनके मन में ये आया कि चलो ये एक महामूर्ख यहाँ बैठा है, इसको मैं लेकर के जाऊंगा. So he searched for this foolish man and he found this boy sitting there cutting the very branch on which he's sitting, and he asked him to come down. He said, now look, I'm going to dress you up like a learned scholar and take you to the court, and you just keep mute, don't utter a single word, just don't speak, only gesture, and I will interpret your gestures as wisdom. And let's see what happens. So वो उनको लेकर के जाते हैं राज्यसभा में और उनसे कहते हैं कि तुम मौन रहना, और वहां जाकर के कहते हैं राजा से कि ये बहुत ही एक महान पंडित है, मौन व्रत का इन्होंने अभी इन्होंने पालन किया हुआ है, ये मौन व्रत में है, तो कुछ बोल नहीं पाएंगे लेकिन इशारा करेंगे, तो मैं इनका जो भी संदेश है उसको आपको बताऊंगा. And there is a series of things that happen, and the king is very, very impressed. The princess is also very impressed, and the boy was married to the princess. Now, on the wedding night, the princess finds him, she enters the room and she finds him, lying there with legs wide apart and snoring with his mouth wide open and, looking very absolutely unaware of how he is and very ignorant. तो वो उनको जगाती हैं और उनसे पूछती हैं, अस्ति कश्चिद वाग विशेष, यानी कि क्या हम किसी विशेष बात पर चर्चा कर सकते हैं. She wanted to discuss things of the higher wisdom, things of something of the, of the higher universe, of the, of cosmic presence, but she actually wanted to test him. But this guy, he just gets up and he rubs his eyes and he makes a face and he responds in gibberish. So she immediately understands that she has been duped. But she is a Mahapandita. She is very wise. She is very well read. And with whatever wisdom she has experientially, जो भी उनके अनुभव में था, उस ज्ञान के प्रकाश में वो राजकुमारी इतना तो देख पाई कि कुछ भी अकारण नहीं होता है. यदि उनकी शादी ऐसे मूर्ख से हो गई है तो इसमें कोई ना कोई दिव्य कारण जरूर होगा. So she saw this divine will in this whole ghatna, and she asks him that, do you want to meet your mother? And he says, I am Anath, but yes, I do want to meet my mother. I am an orphan. So she says, okay, come, I will take you to your mother. So she takes him to a Kali temple, and this is in Ujjain, the Gadkalika temple. This is where this incident occurred. And then she says, look, your mother is here. She is in the form of a vigraha, a stone vigraha. And if you call out to her, if you cry to her, if you repeatedly call out to her, she will come and she will give you wisdom. So do not come out of this temple till she grants you that wisdom, and only your mother can help you. You are an absolute buffoon. You are a foolish person. Only she can grant you that wisdom. She says this and she locks him inside and she goes. Now, the good thing about fools is ये जो मूर्ख होते हैं ना, जिनको कि संसार मूर्ख कहता है, the good thing about them is that they are free of any intellectual garbage. बहुत पढ़े लिखे लोग होते हैं ना, उनके दिमाग में बहुत सारे ifs, buts, doubts आ जाते हैं क्योंकि इतना सारा borrowed ज्ञान है. So he is very childlike. And so he believes everything that the princess has said without any mindy questions. And because he feels that it is coming from a lady who is wise, who is well read, and he didn't even know how to pronounce properly. तो जाने से पहले जो राजकुमारी होती हैं वो उसको कह के जाती हैं कि वो पूछता है कि आपने कहा कि माँ को पुकारो, पर कैसे पुकारो? तो वो कहती हैं कि तुमको कुछ नहीं कहना है, बस कहो काली विद्या. माँ से विद्या मांगो और कहो काली विद्या. अब he is not so sushikshit. She doesn't expound anything more and she just walks away from there. So he calls out to his mother, but instead of saying Kali Vidya, he could only say Kali Ijja, Kali Ijja. He had this stammer and he just couldn't say Vidya. But He had this absolute faith. ये मन में एक दृढ़ विश्वास था कि मैं पुकारूंगा तो मेरी माँ आएगी. He had no doubt, no intellect, and I am not going to walk out of this door foolish with this भाव कि मैं यहाँ से बिना माँ से विद्या लिए नहीं जाऊंगा. इस भाव के साथ he kept calling all night. Nothing happened. Nobody came. And then he began to cry. His desperation started to increase. Kali, Ijja. And he started to bang his head on the feet of the Vigraha. And by this time, he was so desperate. And he started to say, Mother, I have lived as an orphan all my life. No more. सारा जीवन एक अनाथ की तरह मैंने व्यतीत किया है. मेरी देखभाल करने वाला, मेरे को पूछने वाला कोई नहीं था आज तक. पर और अब नहीं. माँ तुमको आना पड़ेगा. माँ तुम्हें आना है. You must come. You have to make me wise. How can your child remain a fool? And he kept banging his head at the feet of the Vigraha. Kali, Ijja, Kali, Ijja, Kali, Ijja कहते कहते अपना माथा पटकते रहे वो माँ के विग्रह के सामने. And what happened next is the dream of every bhakt. You know, it is not like Divine Mother was sitting in that Vigraha and watching him, okay, keep banging your head. No, she was waiting. क्योंकि जब तक एक भक्त का चित्त, एक भक्त का अंतःकरण पूर्णतः शुद्ध नहीं हो जाता, माँ के दर्शन किस प्रकार से होंगे? क्योंकि Mother is equally eager, probably 10,000, many times more eager than the bhakt. She's waiting eagerly for what? She's waiting eagerly for this bhakt in us to become ripe, to become paripakva. When the chit, when the antashkaran is absolutely ready for the darshan of Divine Mother. And finally, that moment came for Kalidasa. Divine Mother appeared. And in that moment, the one who could not even say Kali Vidya properly burst into divine Sanskrit poetry, and from his heart, sprang forth the verses. Chaturbhuje Chandrakalavam se kuchonnate kumkumaraga shone punrekshu pashankush pushpabana haste namaste 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 Jagadeka Mata. For him, it was darshan of Divine Mother. And for us, who are listening to this Dandakam today, it is Dhyanam. He held Divine Mother in front of his eyes. He beheld her in front of his eyes, right there in full glory. Chaturbhuje Chandrakalavam se. The Dhyanam that he pens down, that comes forth from the depth of his soul. Divine Mother with 4 arms, with a crescent moon adorning her crown. Can we change the slide? Next one. So Chaturbhuje Chandrakalavam se, Divine Mother with these 4 arms, with a crescent moon, with that Chandrakala shining on her crown. Kuchonnate kumkumaraga shone. She is absolutely radiant, compassionate, affectionate with this motherly love. And it is overflowing from her unnat vakshasthal. Kuchonnate kumkumaraga shone. Kumkum rag. Her entire form is exuding that red hue of love. Namaste, 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 Jagadeka Mata, he says. Mother doesn't have to appear and then bless us. Her appearing itself is a blessing, and she appears as soon as we invoke. Mother knew why she had come. माँ को पता था कि माँ ने क्यों दर्शन दिए. इस मूर्ख बच्चे को अपने परम ज्ञान देने के लिए, to make this foolish child of hers as wise as can be. And so, initially, she appeared in the form of Jagannmata, Ma Tripura Sundari. And then she assumed the form of Shyamala Devi, who is known as Ma Matangi. She is the Jnana Swarup, the Shuddha Jnana Swarup of Divine Mother. the absolute embodiment, the absolute personification of divine knowledge and creative expression. तो वो कहते हैं पुनरेक्षु पाशांकुश पुष्प बाण हस्ते, माँ के चारों हाथों में पुष्प बाण इक्षु कोदंड ये सब माँ ने हाथों में धारण किया हुआ है. And then another stuti sprang forth as soon as she took the form of Shyamala Devi. Manikya veena mupalalayanti madalasam manjul vagvilasam mahendra neeladyuti komalangi matanga kanya manasa smarami. She is Matanga Kanya. Matanga Rishi is yet another example of mother's infinite grace. Rajat Kripa Rajapita Niveshita Nijashrita. It is a verse from Lalita Sahasranam. माँ की जब कृपा होती है वो राजत कृपा है. It is royal, it is majestic. Even if somebody is an absolute pauper, कोई महादरिद्र भी हो, तो माँ की जब कृपा होती है तो वो राजा की तरह राज करता है इस पूरे सृष्टि पर. राजत कृपा. And then Matang Rishi was one such. He would meditate on Divine Mother in the Himalayas. और हिमालय में जब वो माँ पर ध्यान करते थे, माँ की साधना करते थे, वो अक्सर देखते थे कि हिम्मत राज जो हैं वहां पर तप कर रहे हैं और वो भी जो हैं उनके तप से माँ को पुकार रहे हैं. And in his absolute love and surrender, he had requested Divine Mother to become his child. And so Divine Mother incarnated as his daughter. And Matang Rishi would see this and he would also cry for Divine Mother, saying, I also want to love you as much as Himavan does to his daughter. I also want to hold you in my arms. मैं भी आपको अपनी पुत्री की तरह अपने गोद में खिलाना चाहता हूं. And with such is the grace of Divine Mother that whatever a bhakt, it's very difficult to be a bhakt, क्योंकि भक्त जिसका हृदय बिल्कुल शुद्ध है, when a bhakt calls and asks for something, she grants. And that is Rajat Kripa. So she came as the daughter of Matang Rishi. And this happened right now on a day like this, वैशाख महीने की तृतीया तिथि. और ऐसा ही एक दिन था जब हिमालय की सुंदर पृष्ठभूमि पर मतंग ऋषि ने माँ से ये वरदान मांगा. और माँ तो भक्ति गम्या, भक्ति वश्या है. That bhakti, that divine love, with that bhakti, she becomes ours. And then whatever it is that we wish as a bhakt, as a true bhakt, she does it for us. प्रेम के बस अर्जुन रतहा क्यों भूल गए ठकुराई. See, the Lord of the universe, he is holding the entire creation in just a minuscule part of his, and yet bound by love of the gopis and the gopabalaks, he comes and he dances for them. He becomes a sarathi, tied by that love of Arjun. And similarly, Divine Mother, tied by the love of such a bhakt, comes down and becomes the daughter of Matanga Rishi. And she fulfills the deepest longing that may be, in the deepest recess of our hearts, which we may have not even worded to her, yet she knows. So Matang Rishi, the great devotee of Divine Mother, in his tapas, in his love, in his absolute bhakti, wished just for this one thing: Mother, come to me as a baby so that I can be your father, so that I can also walk around the Himalayas and tell Himatraj, hey, I am also blessed to be the father to Divine Mother. And so Mother blessed him. And when Mother arrived, she was named Matangi, Matanga Kanya, Manasa Smarami. That is what Kalidasa Rishi says. And she arrived in Shyamala Swarup. Then he says, Jaya Matanga Tanaye, Jai Matanga Tanaye. Tanaye means daughter. Jaya, Jaya Ghosh karte hain wo. Again, he keeps on saying this word Jaya again and again. Why this Jaya? Victory unto you, O Mother. Till now, only my mind, only my desires were being victorious. Now, Mother, you be victorious. Only victory to you, only victory to you. And he sees mother playing this veena, which is studded with gems. Manikya veena mupalalayantim. She's playing this veena and she's madalasam. Her eyes are half closed. She's drunk in this divine intoxication. Swatmananda lavi bhuta brahmadhyanananda santatihi. Swatmanand. She is lost in her own bliss in Sat Chit Anand. Her own Swarup, which is getting expressed as the Veena Nad. Manjul Vag Vilas. ये जो सुंदर वीणा की ध्वनि उत्पन्न हो रही है वो माँ के स्वयं का स्वरूप है, सत चित आनंद का स्वरूप है, जिसमें माँ बिल्कुल मुग्ध होकर के अपना बिल्कुल जो उनका मस्तक है एक divine intoxication ke saath, she is moving her head, her eyes are half closed, and she's singing along with the Veena Nad in the sweetest voice ever. Manikya Veena Mupalalayantim Madalasam Manjula Vagvilasam Mahendra Neeladviti Komalangi Matanga Kanya Manasa Smarami. And Mahendra Neeladviti Komalangi, she's very soft. And she has this bluish gray radiance of a precious, very, very precious gemstone. Mahendra Neela Dviti Komalangi. And then mother reveals to Kalidas where she lives. She lives in Kadambavana. She's Kadambavana Vasini. She's surrounded by beauty, by music, by divine expression. And her very presence is that creative force of the universe. Then he says, Jaya Matanga Kannaye, Jai Matanga Tanaye, Jai Neelotpaladvite, Jai Sangeeta Rasike, Jai Leela Shokapriye. Mother loves when we call out to her. जब हम माँ को पुकारते हैं उनके मंत्र से, उनके ध्यान के द्वारा, उनके अनेक अनेक स्तोत्र श्लोकों द्वारा, माँ के ऊपर लिखे हुए भजनों के द्वारा, when a devotee sings, mother is very happy. She is very pleased and she loves it. You know, other people might think, oh, you're out of tune. Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, you fumbled. But here she listens like a mother. माँ 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 जब करके एक बच्चा पुकारता है तो माँ बहुत खुश होती हैं. वो चाहे तुतला रहा हो, चाहे वो ठीक से ना बोल पा रहा हो, माँ बहुत खुश होती हैं. And how does she listen? She listens with half-closed eyes and her head is shaking. Her earrings are shaking because her head is shaking. And she holds a little parrot in one of the arms by the finger. And then what does this little parrot talk with Divine Mother? What must he be talking? You know, that little parrot, he must be doing this gupshup, japo jalpa, Adi Shankaracharya says. You know, he must be doing this little conversation with Divine Mother. He may be narrating the glories of Lord Shiva, and she may be going in this further intoxication. He may be telling her how he won over Tarkasur, how he won over so many other asuras, this asura, that asura, and how he helped Skand win over Tarkasur, how he did the vad of Tripurantakam, another asur. And mother may say, oh, stop telling me about him. He doesn't even come to me. I know his leelas. And the parrot might be saying, oh, Ma, he is in meditation. He is in samadhi. He is doing his tapas. Then mother may say, oh, he may be in tapas. But when I go to him, he doesn't listen. He doesn't come out of his tapas. And then he says, where are you? And then the parrot may be saying, oh, Ma, you and him are not separate. आप तो अर्धनारेश्वर हैं. आप ही का आधा भाग स्वयं भगवान है, स्वयं आशुतोष है. So this kind of conversation, you know, keeps happening between this shuka, this little parrot, and mother. And then he says, Mata Marakata Shyama Matangi Madashalini. Marakat is another gem which is like emerald, green, bluish green in color. Mata Markata Shyama. She's Shyama, but Shyama meaning she's dark, she's bluish, but she has that Markata hue, that greenish hue. Matangi Madashalini, she's absolutely intoxicated. Kuriyat Kataksham Kalyani Kadamba Vanavasini. So mother is drenched in that intoxication, and mother, we are all here along with your shukar, listening to your glories. And this is the only one thing, all of us listening here right now today to your glories, along with Kalidasa Rishi, we are just asking for this just one thing, your Kuryat Kataksha, your one side glance of grace. That one glance of grace that we all crave for when Guru Swarupa Ma walks in. Ma, the way you have blessed Kalidas, the way you have blessed so many rishis, won't you bless us? Let us all tell this to Mother Divine. Won't you bless us like you have blessed all of them? Now, Mother's hair is adorned with flowers, so many flowers, and they are all swaying along with Mother. And the same man who could not speak properly, who could not utter even 2 words, Kali Vidya, properly, now composes this Shyamala Dandakam. Dandakam is a form of poetry in which long words are all tied together, like how you tie a garland. It is difficult to even recite in one breath, but such is the power of grace. What he composed is Jai Janani Sudha Samudrantarudyan Mani Dvipa Samruda Bilvatavi Madhya Kalpadruma Kalpa Kadamba Kantara Vasa Priye Kritti Vasa Priye Sarva Loka Priye He Jagan Matruke Sarva Loka Priye. Mother gave him the darshan of her full swarup in full glory. Jaya Janani Sudha Samudrantarudyan Mani Dvipa Samruda Sudha Samudra Anta. Sudha Samudra, सुधा इज नेक्टर. उस अमृत के विशाल समुद्र के मध्य में एक द्वीप है जहां अनेक 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 मणियों से वो द्वीप बिल्कुल ज्वलायमान है. इट इज सो रेडियंट विद द ग्लो एमिनेटिंग फ्रॉम दीज मणीज. दिस इज अ मणि आइलैंड ऑफ मणीज, island of these gemstones, right in the middle of the ocean of bliss where Divine Mother stays. And there are many prakaras, many enclosures. Like we have many enclosures inside the Sri Chakram, inside the Mani Dvipam, there are many enclosures. So she is in the middle of the enclosure of Bilva trees. The जो बेल के जो पेड़ हैं उनका जो प्राकार है उसके बीच में कल्प वृक्षों का एक दूसरा प्रकार है. उन कल्प वृक्षों के प्रकार के बीच में कदम्ब वन है जिसका एक तीसरा प्रकार है. उस कदम्ब वन के बीच में माँ विराजमान है और वहां पर बैठ करके माँ वीणा नाद कर रही हैं. जय जननी सुधा समुद्रांत रुद्यन मणि द्वीप समरूढ़ बिल्वाट विमध्य कल्पद्रुम. कल्प वृक्षों के बीच में कल्पद्रुम कल्प कादम्ब कांतार वास प्रिय कृत्तिवास प्रिय. कृत्तिवास इज अ संबोधन. कितने सुंदर सुंदर संबोधन कवि कुल गुरु देने लग जाते हैं माँ को. कृत्तिवास, कृत्तिवास भगवान शिव का नाम है जो हाथी का जो चर्म है उसको पहनते हैं. द वन हु इज वेयरिंग द एलिफेंट हाइड. Krittivasa Priye, she is the beloved of Lord Shiva. She is Sarvaloka Priye. The one who is beloved of Lord Shiva is the beloved of the entire creation. And then Mother is, see how beautifully Mother is revealing her entire abode to Kalidasa Rishi. And then he says, सादरारब्ध संगीत संभावना संभ्रमालोल नीपस्रगाबद्ध चूली सनाथत्रिके सानुमत पुत्रिके हे जगन्मातृके हे जगन्मातृके सानुमत पुत्रिके. So these earrings that Mother is wearing, they are moving in rhythm with her veena. Her eyes are half closed like the lotus buds, and the speech, the sound of the music that comes out from her mouth is so melodious. Her voice is so sweet, and her entire presence is so intoxicating. Sadararabdha Sangeet, that Sangeet that comes out from the Veena, the Sangeet that comes out from her mouth. Sambhavana Sambrama Lola Nipasraga Baddha Chuli Sanathatrike. And then he says, Ma, oh mother, you are worshipped through this music. Sadararabdha Sangeet, which is coming out from nowhere but your own Veena. And your entire form is vibrating with that joy, with that delight. Sambramalola, your hair is beautifully adorned with the garlands of the forest of the Kadambavan, Nipasriga. And they are tied very gracefully into a braid. एक चोटी, एक चूली में बंधे हुए हैं. And they are giving you this very charming and beautiful, divine, living presence that is becoming very, very alive, because all these little kadamba flowers that are tied in your hair, they are also eager to listen to your Veena Nad, to listen to the words that come out of your mouth. And these flowers, oh mother, are none other than your own bhaktas. Oh divine mother, grant me a place, a little place in between those flowers. Oh divine mother, oh daughter of the Himalayas. Again, the Sambodhan is so beautiful. Sanumat putrike, oh divine daughter of the Himalayas. You embody both simplicity and profound spiritual power. इतना इतना सुंदर माँ का ये स्वरूप है कि केवल इसको हम ध्या पाए तो Mother's presence will be really felt inside our heart. And then he says, Shekhari Bhuta Shitamshu Rekha Mayukha Vali Baddha Susnigdha Neelalaka Shreni Shringarite Loka Sambhavite He Jagan Matruke He Jagan Matruke He Jagan Matruke. Oh Ma, the soft curls on your forehead, they are lit by the moonlight. And this moonlight is coming from your Chandra Rekha. जो चंद्र आपके मस्तक पर विराजमान है, उस चंद्र रेखा से ही आपका संपूर्ण स्वरूप जो है बिल्कुल एक सुंदर चंद्र प्रभा से प्रज्वलित हो रहा है. And your crown, it is adorned by this gentle crescent moon, शीतांशु रेखा. These soft, gentle, शीतल करने वाली जो प्रभा है, जो कि माँ के शिखर से ही नीचे उतर रही, like a shower of cold, soft light that is calming the soul. Those rays form this beautiful, luminous aura around you. Mayukhavali. And your soft, dark, glossy, shiny, snigdh, radiant locks, susnigdh, neelalaka. They are beautifully arranged. And they're just speaking of your absolute charm and elegance. You are revered, O Divine Mother, O Ma. आपकी स्तुति, आपकी उपासना तो सिद्ध करते हैं. You are honored by all the siddhas. You are worshipped by all the siddhas. Loka sambhavite. Sambhavite means to influence. Not like the influencers we have today on Instagram and YouTube. Mother's influence is around the entire creation. Some may feel it more, some may not feel it at all, some may feel it a little. But her divine grace influences everything in this creation. And to see the beauty of Divine Mother in the creation, which is her own Vishwa Vigraha, radiating with her beauty, radiating with her auspiciousness, radiating with her Mangalya, it is that which is soothing, which is supremely beautiful, which is intoxicatingly beautiful, which is all-powerful. So now, meditation on Mother's hair is very, very close to my heart, and I can go on, and we will be out of time. We are already very close to closing our time. So I will halt here. But, I will give you a little sneak peek into this. Valmiki Rishi goes to दशरथ कोट, दशरथ की सभा में जाकर के वाल्मीकि ऋषि कहते हैं उनसे कि आप श्री राम को मेरे साथ भेज दीजिए, क्योंकि बहुत सारे असुर जो हैं वो यज्ञ में बाधा डाल रहे हैं. श्री रामो ललिता देवी. Lalita, the playful one, the most beautiful one, is none other than the one who incarnated as Sri Ram himself. So Valmiki Rishi says this, and we know the story. Raja Dashrath was a little hesitant. He says, I will come. He says, no, I want only Sri Ram to come. So after a lot of hesitance, he sends Sri Ram and Lakshman both. Now they are in a very tender age. वो अभी बहुत बड़े नहीं हुए हैं श्री राम और लक्ष्मण, और वो वाल्मीकि ऋषि के साथ जाते हैं. और जब वो जा रहे होते हैं जंगल की तरफ, वाल्मीकि ऋषि बार बार पीछे मुड़ करके इन दोनों को देखते हैं. तो लक्ष्मण जी जो हैं वो थोड़े अनकंफर्टेबल हो जाते हैं. वो श्री राम से कहते हैं, ये बार बार क्यों पीछे मुड़ मुड़ के देख रहे हैं? क्या उनको लगता है कि हम उनके पीछे नहीं आएंगे, या हमको कोई उठा के ले जाएगा, या हम भाग गए? तो श्री राम जो है वो बड़े, अब वो मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम है, वो बहुत ही एक छोटी सी मुस्कान देते हैं और कहते हैं, आप जाके खुद पूछ लीजिए उनसे. तो लक्ष्मण जी जो हैं वो जाते हैं वाल्मीकि जी के पास, जाकर के पूछते हैं, हे गुरुदेव, क्षमा करें, पर आप बार बार क्यों हमको पीछे मुड़ के देख रहे हैं? क्या आपको लगता है कि कोई उठा करके ले जाएगा, या कोई बाधा आ जाएगी? So Valmiki Rishi's eyes are full of tears. He's welling out with emotion. He's so overwhelmed. He's almost unable to speak. And he says, oh, Lakshman, you're always in the company of Sri Ram. You don't know what it is to keep looking at him. Just look at those curls. उन घुंघराले केशों को तो देखो कैसे खेल रहे हैं श्री राम के चेहरे पर. You are always with him, but I will get to see this only for a few days. I am the drashta of Ramayana. I know that after this, my role will be complete and I will not get to see him. And he keeps looking back. He keeps looking back just to see the play of these curls on Sri Ram's face. Another devotee, Bhishma Pitama, जब वो रणभूमि में भगवान कृष्ण को देखते हैं, उनके काले घने घुंघराले केशों को, और ये रणभूमि में जो इतनी धूल उड़ रही थी वो सब जाकर के बैठ जाती है भगवान के केशों में, एंड हिज कर्ल्स बिकम गोल्डन इन द बैटलफील्ड. एंड ही टेल्स दैट आई हैव कम टू सी माय इष्ट ओनली इन दिस स्वरूप. I have come to this Ranbhumi only to see how these golden locks are playing on his face. So such is the Leela of Ma's entire face. कि इतने सुंदर केश हैं, वो घुंघराले केश एक लता की तरह माँ के मस्तक पर एक लटक रही है, और ये बिल्कुल जैसे घने मेघ श्याम क्लाउड्स, fully laden with raindrops. बिल्कुल माँ के केश ऐसे हैं, fully laden with grace. And then the next verse, काम लीला धनुष सन्निभभ्रु लता पुष्प संदोह संदेह त्रिल चले वाक सुधा सा से
Jay Shree, just a minute. I think there was a bit of an internet hiccup. Mansi ji is coming right back. And while she's coming in, I just wanted to say that why are we even going through these verses of what Kalidas took us through and wrote down is simply that, as you know, during these three important days in the Tantra Sadhana app, Secret Shrine will open up, and the first thing we will do in the Secret Shrine is to perform the Dhyan Shlok of Ma. So, considering that Ma Matangi's Dhyan Shlok will be available today on her Prakatya Diwas, when you go into the Secret Shrine, the verse that is there that Swamiji will guide us through is very similar to the verses that Mansi ji is explaining. So the idea is that if we can visualize Ma in a better way, then we take more value from chanting her Dhyan Shlok. After all, Dhyan Shlok is nothing but the verses of the Dhrishtar, the one who has seen Ma, how he is able to capture in words. So the idea is that if we understand her visual depiction better, then we will be able to immerse ourselves more in bhav, more in devotion. And then, as you all know, in the secret shrine, once you finish the Dhyan Shlok, we will then get to perform her Bij Mantra chanting or jap. So, which means the order is also important here, that first we immerse ourselves in devotion, and that is what Dhyan Shlok will help us to achieve and to get better value from the Dhyan Shlok itself. Because the first time I, as a sadhak, also went through the Dhyan Shlok, I did not understand how to relate. So then when we were discussing with Mansi ji, she very eloquently helped us understand that Dhyan Shlok is the perfect vehicle to fall into the devotion. And how do we do that? Is all one needs to do is to see Ma, her visual form, which again has been seen by these saints, and just try to picture her in our mind's eye. Automatically, we will have devotion flow through. Then, when we get on to chanting her Bij Mantra, that is when the magic happens. So, Mansi ji is back.
I am sorry, there was a power outage.
No problem. Please.
Everybody got too intoxicated with her presence. So, He Jagannath-ke Pahimam, Pahimam, Pahimam. So we will just continue from where we left. Now, it's like a child's play. Ma is always playful. Kama Leela, she is always in this beautiful Leela. So, like a child who may be playing with the father and has lost in the game, comes running to the mother and says, Mama, I lost. Can you please play along with me and help me defeat Papa? And Divine Mother willingly agrees. So something similar happens. Our mothers also willingly accepts, and then the child and the mama play together and they defeat daddy. So Divine Mother also here, enters into a play, and she has a very, very dear child, Kamadev. He is the giver of Kadi Vidya in Sri Vidya. And he goes to Divine Mother and he says, I want to go and win over father, he burnt me down and I lost to him. So Mother Divine says, all right, I will make you win. And so she gives him a ratha, a chariot. And that ratha is nothing but her face. Her face is the ratha with 2 earrings as the wheels of the chariot. Her eyebrows, which are like a dhanush, is right there in that chariot. And then the love of her eyes, they are the arrows that will be used with this dhanush. And he says, now you use this chariot and go defeat your father. And of course, what chance does Ashutosh stand in front of Divine Mother's face? The minute he sees Divine Mother's eyes, Divine Mother's face, Divine Mother's eyebrows and hair, he is all lost. And Kamdev, the dear child, he is so extremely pleased and excited, just like a little child, that mother has helped defeat the father. So these kind of Kama Leela, Dhanus, Sannibhabrulata Pushpa Sandoha Sandeha Krilochane Vak Sudha Sechane Charu Gorochana Panka Keli Lalama Bhirame Rame Surame Rame. So he says, Kalidas Rishi says, oh Ma, your eyebrows, your bhru lata is like a creeper. You see those 2 creepers? As if in that creeper, a beautiful red flower has blossomed, like your bindi, like the gorochan on your forehead. And from you flows this nectar of speech, Vaksudha, nourishing and elevating all kinds of expression. And your bindi, that red creeper, that is playfully adding to that graceful charm on your face, and you're so supremely delighted, so surame rame. You are Atma Ram, you are intoxicated in your own bliss, Sat Chit Anand, that extreme state of intoxication. You are the very embodiment of that anand, of that divine bliss, of that samadhi, of that absolute absorption in your own self that you grant to every bhakta, to every sadhak. You are that embodiment of extreme beauty, that extreme enchantment that even celestial beings crave of. Surame Rame. And then he says, he comes to mother's forehead and he says, "Oh, Ma, that little Sweda Bindu, there is this mother's mukut, and there are little pearls studded there. So Moktika Shreni, these Prolasadvalika, Moktika Shreni Ka Chandrika Mandalodbhasi, Lavanya Gandasthalanyasta Kasturika Patra Rekha, Samudbhuta Saurabhya Sambranta Bringanga Nagita, Sandri Bhavan Mandra Tantri Sware, Susware Bhasware, He Jaganmatruke, Hey Jagan Matruke. Oh, how beautiful is this verse? He says that all these little pearls, these radiant pearls, are glowing like moonlight. Chandrika Mandal. Mother is wearing these two earrings, and one has the entire Chandramandal, the other one has the entire Surya Mandal. And it is illuminating her entire face. Even the cheeks, are described so poetically by Kalidas Rishi. He says, "Mother, on your face, how you have these little leaves on which these intricate designs are carved, and they are embedded with this kasturi, the kasturi tilakam, and then they are softly placed on your cheeks. And from there, this fragrant, itna sundar manmohak एक दिव्य सुगंध वहां से आ रही है। ये जो कस्तूरी पत्र रेखा, पत्र यानी कि पत्ते, उस पत्ते पर जो रेखाएं अंकित हैं, उन रेखाओं पर जब कस्तूरी तिलक लगाकर वो माँ के जो कपोल हैं, जो चीक्स हैं, उन पर जब ये डिजाइन बनता है, एंड such beautiful fragrances coming out. Kasturi Patrika Rekha, that is emanating that saurabhya, that subtle fragrance, that it is attracting a swarm of bees, a huge population of bhring, that Sambranta Bhringangana, Geeta Sandri. Sandri means very dense. So this dense population of these bees, they're all buzzing around mother's cheeks, and very, very melodiously, they are humming Bringanganad, this ringkar, ringkar, ringkar nad that happens because these bees are buzzing. ये जो झनकार है in भृंगों की, उससे the whole environment, is just blending into this deep, resonant music. Mandra, Bhavan Mandra, Tantri Sware. And from this swar, this very living, creative symphony that is coming out of this music, all the tantras, all the mantras, all the yantras are getting created. All the mantras of Sri Vidya, because these bees are humming along with mother's Veenanad, along with the song that comes out of her mouth. Your voice, Kalidas says, "Oh, mother is so sweet, so musical, so melodious, so mellifluous, so radiant, susware, bhasware." And it is the very essence of sound and create and vibration that makes this entire creation. Jitne mantra hain, jitne swar hain, जो भगवान के डमरू नाद से निकले, और उसको ये भृंग जो है वो वापस से they are repeating again and again, and that same nad is flowing through your Veena Nad, oh mother, and they are creating all the tantras She is the Tantreshwari, she is the Yantreshwari, she is the Mantreshwari. And he says, जितने भी मंत्र के दृष्टा हैं, जितने भी देवता हैं, उनकी जो कांति है, उनका जो रेडियंस है, उनका जो सुंदर, जो इतना तेज है, इतना जो ओजस है, वो सब माँ तुम ही से तो आता है. वल्लकी वादन प्रक्रियालोलत ताली दला बद्ध ताटंक भूषा विशेषान्विते सिद्ध सम्मानिते. Now, Mother, she is holding this Chandralekha. She is that eternal one in that 16th Tithi. Ma Shodashi hai, which is eternal. She doesn't change. वो माँ तुम ही हो. And absorbed in that graceful playing, that Vallaki Vadan, your movements gently keep moving in that rhythm, Lola Tali. And your Tatank is also moving in tune with that Vallaki Vadan. You're along with that Manikya Veena, which is being played. And this dancing Tatanka Yugali Bhuta Tapanodupa Mandala. In Lalita Sahasranam, we have the entire Surya Mandal, the entire Chandra Mandal, the entire cosmos with all the suns, with all the moons of the creation. They're all moving in the rhythm, in this rhythm, in the supreme Brahmand, just because of this movement of yours. And then Kalidasa Rishi says, one doesn't need to listen to what you are playing, oh Mother, because the way your earrings are moving, one can tell. All the Siddhas can see your earrings and they can tell which Nad you are playing, which mantra is coming out. Oh Mother, let this picture of yours, let this visual of yours be forever etched in our minds, in the minds of everyone who's listening to this today. Mother, you are worshipped, you are revered, you are honored by all the accomplished beings, all the sages, all the siddhas, siddha sammanite. Only who experientially knows the grandeur of Divine Mother is a siddh, because he has had the darshan of Divine Mother. These siddhas are graceful enough to give their darshan in the form of dhyana verses to us. Only such a being can give that amount of reverence to Mother's grandeur, to the grandeur that Mother's, to that, the reverence that her grandeur demands. Only and he gives this to all the sadhaks in the form of design, in the form of a dhyana verse. Again and again, he is calling out. He's saying that, oh Mother, he refers to her as Her Majesty. She is recognized as the supreme source of all art, of all sound, of all spiritual knowledge. She alone is. She alone is. And then he says, Divya hala madodvela helalas sachakshu radena सी समाक्षिप्त कर्णैक नीलोत्पले श्यामले पूरिताशेष लोकाभिवांचाफले श्रीफले. So we are getting that Shrifal today. That Shri is that auspiciousness, that Saubhagyam. Oh Mother, he says, you have these beautiful eyelashes, so long, so curved, and your eyes, they are half closed like lily buds. And being half closed, because they are half closed, all I see is that dark bluish gray lines. Oh Shyamala, whose eyes move gracefully with that playful intoxication, that charm, hala madalasa, your gentle motion, that andolan, that captivating beauty, that single blue lotus that adorns your ears, karna nilotpala, which is enhancing your beauty and your enchanting charm. Oh Mother, you are the fulfiller of all the desires of this world. You are Asheshalok, Vanchafala, Abhivanchafala, whatever we may think of, Abhivanchafala. She is the giver of all that auspiciousness, of all that prosperity, Shri Fale. Oh Mother, although everything about you is dark, you are Shamavarna, yet you are Nirmala. Nothing touches you, oh Mother. या अनुरागी चित्त की गति समझे न कोई, ज्यों ज्यों बूढ़े श्याम रंग त्यों त्यों उज्जवल होई। मनुष्य की का जो अनुरागी हृदय होता है, उसकी वास्तविक गति, उसकी स्थिति का कोई भी अनुमान नहीं लगा सकता। जैसे जैसे मन जो है वो माँ के, वो भगवान की भक्ति में रंग जाता है, डूबता चला जाता है, वैसे वैसे ही वो और अधिक उज्जवल और उज्ज्वलतर होता चला जाता है। सो मदर, यू आर द फ्रूट ऑफ दैट ऑस्पिशियसनेस। उस सौभाग्य का जो फल है वो माँ आप हो। एवरीथिंग अबाउट यू, ओ मदर, इज ऑस्पिशियस। द एंटायर क्रिएशन इज नथिंग बट हर ऑस्पिशियसनेस। बट ही सेज, यू, ओ मदर, योर लव, योर प्राप्ति, योर भक्ति is the true auspiciousness, is the true Shri Phale. आज अक्षय तृतीया है। अक्षय, अक्षय क्या है? ग्रेस इज अक्षय, जो कभी जिसका क्षय ना हो, that which never diminishes, that grace, that bhakti, that bhav towards, oh mother, only you can give us. And that is the one thing that doesn't diminish. That is the true Shri Phale. And then he says, all the siddhas are none other than you yourself, O Divine Mother. That little drops of perspiration comes on Mother Divine's forehead. And he says, Sweda Bindu Lasat Phala Lavanya Nishyanda Sandoha Sandeha Krinnasika Mauptike Sarva Vishwatmike Sarva Siddhyatmike Kalike Sarva Siddhyatmike Jagan Matruke. That little drops of perspiration that shine on your forehead, that sway the bindu, they all gather together, and as if they are carrying all the essence of your face down and merging together in that dense form, they form this little nasika mauktika, that little pearl that dangles in the middle of your nose. As if all the sweda bindus, all the drops of perspiration have gathered together and become this little pearl that is dangling in the middle of your nose. Lavanya Nishyanda. It is just flowing with this radiance of beauty. And then he says, you, mother, are the very essence of this entire universe. Sarva Vishwatmike, you are all the attainments, all the spiritual powers. Sarva Siddhyatmike, all the siddhis that a sadhak gets. It is none other than you, yourself, O mother. ये एक मूर्ख जो है ये बोलने लग जाता है, और ऐसे बोलने लग जाता है, ये जो सिद्धि है, ये सर्व सिद्धि, ओ माँ, ये तुम्हारा ही स्वरूप है. And this timeless Shakti which is beyond all limitations, O Ma, O Kalike, Sarvas Jaganmatruke, you are the Jaganmata, you are everybody's mother. The mukti that we talk about, this mukti ka phal that is dangling in the middle of her nose, is nothing but mother's beauty, the entire face of hers which is exuding such beauty. That beauty is nothing but mother's love. So, hey Jaganmatruke, today I pray for myself and for everyone who's listening. Oh mother, please grant us your parabhakti. Nothing less than parabhakti is what I ask for today. And mother, with that mugdha manda smita, that gentle innocent smile that mother has, mugdha manda smito dwara vaktra sfurat पूगता तांबूल कर्पूर खंडोत करे, ज्ञान मुद्रा करे, सर्व संपत करे, पद्म भास्वत करे, श्री करे. Mother grants Shri करे. She grants us, she bestows us with that auspiciousness, with that divine grace which is Shri. While she is absolutely still intoxicated and she's chewing that betel leaf, that tambul with karpura viti ka that she is chewing, it symbolizes that sweetness, that refinedness that is granted to every seeker. And then he says, oh mother, your hands display the gesture of Jnana Mudra. You are granting wisdom and inner awakening to everybody who calls out to you. You are the giver of all prosperity. Sarva sampat kare, Padma bhasvat kare. Your hands are shining like those lotuses which are there to bestow grace. Shri kare, he Jagan Matruke. And then he goes on to describe, how her teeth, they are just like jasmine flower buds all put together in a row. Kandu pushp ki tarah. They are arranged in that smooth, radiant row, and her smile again is like that playful waves that come and go in an ocean. Nirmal, lol, kallol, mother is very playful. And he says, because you are chewing that pan, oh mother, your lips have become red. They are like that bimba fruit, like that freshly cut strawberry. And you're radiating that sweet, charming smile of yours while you bless me. So, this graceful form of Divine Mother, she's holding the Veena, the Manikya Veena, her hair, let's not forget her curly hair, her hair braided with numerous flowers. Let us all together close our eyes and visualize this beautiful form of Divine Mother. Let us take our meditative posture, close our eyes, turn inwards, and let the outer world soften and dissolve for a bit. In the stillness of our heart, let us behold Divine Mother, Ma Matangi, emerging softly. She appears before us, Ghana Shyamalangi, her form deep, dark, luminous, like rain-laden monsoon clouds, holding within it the promise of life, of her boundless compassion and grace. माँ का सारा लावण्य, माँ का सारा प्रेम, सारी कृपा, मज्जत कृपा, माँ का सारा कारुण्य, माँ के केशों में जो कि घन श्याम की तरह बिल्कुल कृपा से लदे हुए हैं, उस स्वरूप में माँ प्रकट होती हैं. Although she is श्याम वर्ण, she is स्वयं प्रकाशित, she is self-luminous. The depth of her dark blue hue skin, it absorbs all distinctions. Every thought, every identity, let it just fade in front of Mother. Let us all think for a minute. Without our roles, without our thoughts, without our memories, ideas, our self-identity, who are we really? इन सभी संबोधनों को अगर हम त्याग दें कि मैं कौन हूं, मेरा किससे क्या रिश्ता है, मेरे मन में क्या विचार आ रहे हैं, क्या आइडियाज आ रहे हैं, इन सब को अगर मैं त्याग दूं तो मैं कौन हूं? What is left when we surrender all this? What is left about ourselves? मां कोई पक्षपात नहीं करती. जो जैसा है वो बस मां का है. Mother's own child. I am yours and you are mine. You are my mother, Meri Ma. And that's all that matters in this moment. What is left when we actually let go of our mind? Let everything be completely surrendered to Divine Mother. She is seated upon that radiant, jeweled throne, Ratnapithe Sthitam. Where is this Ratnapit? It's not outside. It's here, right here, at the very center of our awareness. In the deep recess of our heart, in that childlike heart where the mind becomes still and precious like a gem. This throne is the seat of silence, silence within. जो अंतर मौन है, जो हमारे हृदय गुहा के बीच रत्नपीठ सिंहासन है, वहां जागृत चेतना के आसन पर मां विराजमान है. She is seated on that awakened consciousness itself, and near her a gentle parrot speaks. Shukasyodita shavanatim, She is listening. She's listening to whatever comes and crosses our minds. This is no ordinary sound that she's listening to. When her dhyan leads to her japa, it's the echo of the mantra that she is listening to. She is listening to us calling out to her. This is no ordinary sound. It is the subtle current of that sacred speech which is coming from Divine Mother herself, seated as our own inner higher self. And she listens. As she listens, we also begin to hear it. The quiet vibration, the silence beneath all our thoughts. She is clothed in red, Raktavastram, the color of life force, of desire, of creative power. In that divine presence, nothing is denied, nothing is rejected. Every emotion, every longing, every seeking, every fragment of our being is welcomed and transformed into sacred energy, into a blessing, into Rajat Kripa. She is gently intoxicated, Surapana Mattam, not with any worldly substance, but with the bliss of pure consciousness tasting itself with Sat, truth, Chit, consciousness, Anand, inner bliss of knowing that truth, the truth that I am hers and she is mine. It is the ecstasy of this existence which we are all unaware of. It is our own infinite nature. Close your eyes and feel that subtle intoxication, a softness, a surrender, samarpan, purna samarpan, माँ के सामने, where control loosens and her presence deepens. केवल माँ की साक्षात उपस्थिति. She sits upon a lotus, sarojas sthitam. She is untouched by the world even when she is fully within it. And just as a lotus rises unstained from the mud, she invites us to rest in this world, to do what we got to do without being bound by it. And then she plays, holding the veena. Vallakim vadayantim. She begins to create a sound so subtle, so pure, that it seems to rise from within our own being. Each note dissolves all the tensions, all the stress. Each vibration aligns us with our breath, with our mind, with our awareness. We are no longer listening. We are becoming Haranada Dhvani, coming out from her Vallaki. In this very moment, there is no separation between you and her, between me and her, between us and her. There is no seeker. There is no sought. There is just everything merging into seeking, no thought, just her presence, only the living presence of Divine Mother. Beautiful, unconditional, compassionate, and free. We can slowly open our eyes. She's the one who listens to us within us. She's the one who speaks to us. She's the Antaryami. She's the one who plays this music inside every consciousness. And to meditate on her is to let all parts of ourselves, even the ones which are unrefined, which are rejected outside by the society, which may be rejected by our own selves, which we may be ashamed of, everything is accepted by her, and it becomes divine, it becomes harmonious, it all comes into alignment and becomes whole in her divine grace. Just as she accepted Matanga Rishi, she accepts, she is Uchisht Chandalini. Now, the next form that Divine Mother takes is of Ma Baglamukhi. Ma Baglamukhi's divine presence, we may all be knowing her story. She is the one who gives Vaksiddhish in the Rudrayamala Tantra. We associate her with the Shakti of Stambhan, जो स्तंभन की शक्ति है, जो बहुत सारे अनेक विरोधात्मक जो शक्तियां हैं उन सब को रोकने की जो शक्ति है वो माँ बगलामुखी की है. और उनका जो स्वरूप है वो एक असुर की जिह्वा को पकड़ा हुआ है. शी इज द वन हु इमोबिलाइजेस any kind of negative speech. She gives that mindfulness of speech to all of us. ये असुर कोई बाहर नहीं है, हमारे अंदर ही है. जब हम बिना सोचे समझे कुछ भी कह देते हैं, कुछ भी कर देते हैं, तो वो शक्ति जो हमारे अंदर वो स्मृति लेकर के आए, वो माइंडफुलनेस लेकर के आए, वो माँ बगलामुखी है. और उनके जो प्राकट्य की कथा है वो कृतयुग के समय की है, जो सतयुग का समय था, जब एक बहुत ही भयंकर कॉस्मिक टर्ब्यूलेंस आया था, एक बहुत बड़ा स्टॉर्म आया था, और it was so disastrous that the entire creation was under threat. तो भगवान महाविष्णु ने माँ का आवाहन किया, क्योंकि ये दायित्व उनका है इसको सस्टेन करने का, इस जगत को. तो उन्होंने माँ जगन्माता का आवाहन किया, और एक हरिद्र सरोवर है स्वराष्ट्र में, वहां द होली टर्मरिक लेक वेयर ही कॉल्ड अपॉन डिवाइन मदर. सो माँ का प्राकट्य वहीं पर हुआ. और ये जो पूरा उथल पुथल मचा हुआ था संसार में, ये जो भयंकर उपद्रव था because of this storm, the entire destructive forces came under her control as soon as she came out. So when she came out from the turmeric lake, she was in the form of Ma Tripura Sundari, and then she took the form of a very, very radiant divine being clad in yellow on the turmeric lake, which was again very, very yellow. This color of yellow is the color of Stambhan Shakti, the Shakti which can arrest any kind of force. And the rays that were coming out of Divine Mother, the rays that were coming out of Jagannmata Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari, they all gathered into this radiant yellow form of Divine Mother as Ma Baglamukhi. और ये प्राकट्य भी इसी वैशाख के महीने में हुआ. This emergence is described as if it's occurring in the night, and it symbolizes the stilling of all the chaos when it is at its peak, when we have hit our rock bottom और दिमाग बिल्कुल खत्म हुआ पड़ा है, क्योंकि इतनी आंधी तूफान अंदर चल रही है जिसके वजह से सब कुछ अंदर लगता है कि विध्वंस हो गया सबका. ये जो कोलाहल मचा हुआ था, ये कहीं बाहर नहीं होता है, ये सब कुछ साधक के भीतर ही होता है. तो माँ का प्राकट्य इन सब को शांत करके एक अवेयरनेस के साथ, एक माइंडफुलनेस के साथ जीवन व्यतीत करने की जो शक्ति चाहिए होती है, वो माँ बगलामुखी देती है. तो उनका प्राकट्य दिवस भी वैशाख शुक्ल की अष्टमी को हुआ था, और इसी अगले 10 दिनों के समय में ये शुभ दिन भी आएगा जब हम माँ बगलामुखी के स्वरूप को ध्याएंगे सीक्रेट श्राइन में, और फिर उनके मंत्र का जप भी करेंगे. सो फॉर अ मोमेंट लेट अस जस्ट क्लोज आवर आईज एंड सरेंडर टू डिवाइन मदर. She is that Shanti, she is that calm, again in that luminous ocean of nectar. Sudhabdhi मध्ये सुधाब्धि मणिमंडत पर रत्न वेदी, एक रत्न की वेदी है जो उसी सुधा समुद्र के मध्य में है, जहां पर माँ बगलामुखी के रूप में परम शांति के स्वरूप में विराजमान है। और ये शांति जब हम माँ का आवाहन कर रहे हैं अभी, ये शांति हमारे भीतर ही प्रकट होगी माँ के प्राकट्य के रूप में। सो इन दैट हार्ट ऑफ दैट इनफाइनाइट calm, in that luminous ocean of nectar, in that Sudhabdi Madhya, that radiant, jeweled Vedi, that seat upon which she arises, that resplendent altar on which she is seated, that Singhasan, that she's seated there with absolute divine authority, shining as Ma Baglamukhi. She is entirely clad in that prakash, in that Pita Varna, in that Swayam Prakash that is coming out of as beautiful golden rays, which bring stillness, which bring absolute concentrated Shakti, where all movements of thoughts cease to act. Her pitambar, her ornaments, her garlands, all are radiating that same Shakti, the power to arrest, to bring that inner silence. उस अंतर मौन को लाने वाली वो माँ बगलामुखी ही है, जिनकी शक्ति, जिनका पूरा स्वरूप केवल और केवल उसी आभा को प्रकट कर रहा है, where every disturbance dissolves. See her clearly. In one hand, she is holding a mudgar, that Shakti which shatters ignorance, that shatters all the भ्रम. हमारा मन भ्रमित हो जाता है अनेक अनेक विरोधाभासी शक्तियों के द्वारा. Many hostile forces that are around us, we get deluded. It is she alone who crushes all of them. In the other hand, she is grasping the tongue of a demon. This is not an outer demon, but the restless mind, the uncontrolled speech, the inner negativity that binds us. And she is that utter stillness in all of this chaos. There is only calm in her presence. Her gaze, her graceful glance, full of kripa, dissolves everything. Words dissolve, thoughts dissolve, identity and ideas dissolve. In her Shakti, in her presence, all the virod, inner and outer, becomes powerless. Offer your wandering mind into Ma's grip. Let her grasp it. Let her hold your speech, your doubts, your fears. Let it all be surrendered in her feet. Sit quietly and feel. Feel for a moment everything that disturbs you, everything that agitates you, everything that weakens you is gently stilled by her golden radiance. Let us all rest here in this silence, in this Shakti, in her for a moment. And again, Divine Mother takes a yet another powerful and beautiful form as Ma Chinnamasta. तो माँ जगदम्बा, जगत जननी, माँ त्रिपुर सुंदरी अपनी दो सखियों के साथ, डाकिनी और वारनिनी के साथ एक बार स्नान के लिए एक सरोवर के पास गई हुई थी. और वहां वो सरोवर बिल्कुल कदम्ब वन के बीच में था, वहां कुछ खाने पीने को नहीं था. स्नान के पश्चात जब माँ और उनकी सखियां बाहर आती हैं तो इन सखियों को बहुत भूख लगी होती है. ऐसी क्षुधा जो बिल्कुल शांत होने का नाम ही ना ले रही हो. एंड दे प्लीड टू मदर डिवाइन, वी आर हंग्री, वी वांट समथिंग टू ईट. और दूर दूर तक कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं था जो कि उनको दिया जा सके. पर माँ तो माँ ही है। जब हमें भूख लगी होती है और हमारी माँ को पता है कि बच्चा मेरा भूखा है, तो माँ किसी भी स्थिति में हो कुछ भी कर देगी अपने बच्चे का पेट भरने के लिए। जगन माता तो जगन माता है। शी कट्स हर हेड, वो अपने सिर को छिन्न करती हैं। रुधिर की 3 धाराएं बहने लगती हैं, जो कि एक वारिणी के मुख में जाती है, एक डाकिनी के मुख में जाती है, और तीसरी धारा माँ के छिन्न मस्तक में स्वयं जाती है। अब ये जो स्वरूप है, ये जो प्रतीक है, ये बहुत ही गूढ़ है। इसको it is very esoteric. It has to be understood because the symbol behind this, the symbolic interpretation behind this is, see, this is a mother who is going to nurture us with her own blood. हमारी धमनियों में जो रक्त चल रहा है, भले हमारी इस जगत की माता से आया हो, but although it may be from our biological parents, but it has essentially come from the one who is the essence of this entire universe. ये जो रक्त की धारा, ये जो हमारे अंदर प्राण बन के, हमारे अंदर रक्त बन के जो प्राण स्वरूप में प्रवाह हो रही है शक्ति, वो माँ स्वयं है। ये उसी का प्रतीक है। और माँ का जो त्याग है, अपने आप को भी सर्वस्व स्वरूप से न्योछावर कर देना अपने बच्चे के लिए, ये ही माँ जगन माता का परम कल्याणकारी स्वरूप है। शी इज गोइंग टू गो फार एंड बियॉन्ड, इवन टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ completely giving herself up to nurture her child. This sense of self-sacrifice becomes receptive to us only and only when the ego is shed, when this ever chattering mind is surrendered to Divine Mother. So let us just close our eyes and meditate for a moment on her. This is a little visualization based on the Dhyana shloka that we will see in her secret shrine. So let us enter that space which is beyond all fear. यहाँ भय का कोई स्थान ही नहीं है। माँ के स्वरूप से क्या भय, वो मेरी माँ है। जैसे ही हम कहते हैं वो मेरी माँ है, माँ ने कोई भी स्वरूप लिया हो, शांत हो, उग्र हो, वो मेरी माँ है। वो माँ है जो केवल और केवल कल्याणकारी है, जो केवल और केवल अपने बच्चे का कल्याण करती है। And before you appears the radiant yet fierce presence of Ma Chinnamasta, the mother who severs even the subtlest bondage that we may have. To her sides stand Varnini, luminous and pale, Ati Sita, Dakshe Chati Sita, Vimukta Chikura, with disheveled hair, free and unbound. In her hand she holds a knife, Kartri, Dakshe Chati Sita, Vimukta Chikura, Kartrim Sthita Karparam. She is holding a skull bowl, a khappar, which is the symbol of cutting and receiving, of destruction, which transforms. माँ ने जब अपना सर छिन्न किया, जब वारिणी और डाकिनी की शुदा समाप्त हुई, शांत हुई, माँ ने पुनः अपना मस्तक अपने शरीर पर धारण किया और पुनः इन दोनों को नरिश करने के बाद ये जो स्वरूप था वो ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड स्वरूप. शी इज बॉर्न ऑफ रजोगुण, the force of activity, of desire, of ichha, that pravritti to do something, to always be active and do something, that is Varnini. She represents the outward moving Shakti, the Shakti that creates, the Shakti that desires to create, the Shakti that experiences everything. Hastabhyam dadati rajo guna bhavo namna pisa varnini. And now see her from the severed trunk of Divine Mother, from her chinna kaband, 3 streams of blood flowing forth. Varnini drinks one of them with absolute joy, muda pibantim, and she is receiving this divine nectar. This is cosmic nourishment. This is the nourishment that Divine Mother gives to us, that flows in us as the blood, as that vitality which allows us to do all the activities in the world. Life, feeding on life. Shakti, offering herself to herself. Her head is adorned with a serpent jewel, Nagabadda Shiromani, the symbol of awakened Shakti. The coiled up power has now risen, is radiant, and is shining as a Nagabadda Shiromani, as that brilliant gem in our Sahasraram. Even the Devatas meditate upon her in this form. So now let us all turn inwards and think, what does this vision reveal? The cutting of knife is the end of ego and all false identity. The flowing of blood is life force itself. It is prana. It is eternally circulating. These attendants, Varnini and Dakini, these are the forces within us. Desire, action, awareness. These are all sustained by the same force. Nothing is separate. Nothing is lost by her cutting. Everything that you cling to, everything that depletes you is what is cut. And nourishment is all that is being offered back into you. You who is whole, we who are whole, from that divine which is whole. Let this sink in, offering our identity, our control, our niyantran, our ahankar. Let Ma Chinnamasta sever whatever binds us. And like Varnini, let us all receive, even if this is dissolution of our ego. Because this will transform into bliss, into that Sat Chit Anand of her presence. तो माँ के किसी भी स्वरूप से डरने की जरूरत नहीं है, चाहे माँ कोई भी स्वरूप ले ले. राम प्रसाद सेन यूज्ड टू से के जाने माँ काली केम ऑन षडदर्शने ना पाए दर्शन. माँ, he used to scold mother and say sometimes, Ma, who can know what you truly are? Even the 6 systems of darshan, of philosophy cannot grasp you. But why do you take all these forms? He used to scold. You know, a bhakt, a child can have all this conversation with Divine Mother. And that is the bhav that we are praying for. And only Divine Mother can grant that bhav to us. So how to ask for this is by invoking her. We need to do and perform some rituals during this Shakti Mahotsav. So we will see now in a minute what are those. Inside the Tantra Sadhana app, we will be chanting her dhyana shlokas at least 27 times to invoke her presence, which will roughly take about 9 to 11 minutes every day. We will be doing her Mool Mantra Japa, which will again be 108 times the Japa of her Mool Mantra, which will take about roughly 14 to 19 minutes. We will be lighting up Dhupam, Deepam, and perform her Arati. This will be done just once and it will barely take 1.5 minutes. So this is the time we should all be prepared to carve out of our daily routines. Ma Matangi's Prakatya is today, right here, right now, in this beautiful moment where we have gone ahead and invoked her to the best of what bhav we could offer to her today. The secret shrine is already open and it will remain open till tomorrow 11 a.m. So go to the secret shrine today multiple times, invoke her as many times to your heart's content, chant her dhyana shloka, offer her a deepam, a dhupam, perform prostrations in front of her, and then sit to do her japa. As soon as you click on that icon, you will be teletransported to her world where you will do her japa. Similarly, for Ma Baglamukhi on 28th at 8 p.m. on 23rd of April at 8 p.m. in the evening, the shrine will open. It will remain open till 25th of April till 4 a.m. Ma Chinnamasta's shrine will open on 29th of April at 7 p.m. in the evening and remain open till 1st of May till 4 a.m. in the morning. What we have to do is very simple. We have to go to the secret shrine inside the Tantra Sadhana app, and we have to take the instructions from Vedavyasa seated there as Bhagwan Guru. Guru Bhagwan ke mukh se wahan par instructions lenge, and then we will go enter the shrine. We will leave our slippers outside, chant the dhyana shlokam there. Now, what is a dhyana shloka? As we have seen, the darshan of a rishi becomes a dhyana for a sadhak. It is a meditative verse that helps a sadhak visualize, contemplate, and connect with the form of divine. It acts as that bridge. माँ का नाम, माँ का रूप, माँ की शक्ति, इस सबके बीच का एक ब्रिज, एक सेतु की तरह काम करता है एक ध्यान श्लोक, जो कि हमको माँ के उस स्वरूप के दर्शन को ध्याने का मौका देता है, जैसा कि एक दृष्टा, एक ऋषि ने उनको जिस प्रकार से देखा और एक ध्यान श्लोक में लिखा. So these are not some random poetic verses. These are dhyana shlokas describing the form of Divine Mother exactly in the way in which the sages have had the darshan of Divine Mother. And that is why they are so potent. They are almost equivalent to a mantra in its own right. And once we are soaked with her dhyana swarup, just as we did today by taking the help of the bhav from Shyamala Dandakam, from Kalidasa Rishi, similarly, when whatever we have just seen in the visualization is the exact meanings of the dhyana shloka that will come within the shrine. So we can recall this visualization that we have done today, deeply meditate on her form, soak in her presence, let that presence sink in, and then call upon her with her mantra. Then we will be ready to do her japa. फिर माँ को पुकारेंगे, माँ को बुलाएंगे उनके जप के द्वारा. 108 बार हमको माँ का जप करना है. जब हम आइकॉन को प्रेस करेंगे तो सीक्रेट श्राइन से हम माँ के लोक में चले जाएंगे और वहां पर बैठ करके माँ के सानिध्य में, माँ के सामने माँ को पुकारेंगे पूर्ण हृदय, पूर्ण भाव के साथ, जैसे अभी हमने किया. जब हम एक छोटा सा विजुअलाइजेशन जो हमने अभी किया, उसमें जो भी माँ का स्वरूप हमने अभी ध्याया, वो इन्हीं श्लोकों पर, इन्हीं ध्यान श्लोकों पर आधारित है, जो कि सीक्रेट श्राइन में आएगा. माँ का स्वरूप ध्याने के बाद हम माँ के बीज मंत्रों का जप करेंगे. बीज मंत्र वो होते हैं जिनमें एक फल को पैदा करने की क्षमता है. जस्ट एज अ टाइनी सीड्स होल्ड्स द पोटेंशियल ऑफ giving birth to a huge complete tree, a bij mantra holds the essence of the entire spiritual experience. So think of it like this, that a bij mantra is a seed. The entire mantra becomes the tree, and that spiritual experience that a sadhak gets because of the presence of Divine Mother is the fruit, the anugraha, the kripa kataksham of Divine Mother that we have all been yearning for and praying for in today's session. And once we have done our japa, we will conclude it by offering our japa to Divine Mother. Why do we do this? Because when you offer something back to Divine Mother, she is a mother. वो उसको और चौगुना तिगुना बढ़ा करके, कितना गुना बढ़ा करके माँ अपने बच्चे को ही वापस दे देती है. Sometimes we think that you're going to gift something to our biological mothers. We may be getting her sarees and jewelries and whatnot and whatever she likes. But somewhere or the other, this mother is going to give back all that back, multiplied many more times to us. So Divine Mother is also like that. So we will be praying for the well-being of everyone and offering the fruits of whatever uh, sadhana we have done, whatever japa we have done. We offer that back in Divine Mother's left hand. And when we do that, a glow comes near her feet, which symbolizes that our worship has been accepted. With that Jap Samarpan, we will conclude our session in the secret shrine. We will go back to Vedavyasa and see what he has to say after we finish our practice. And that's how we will be celebrating this Shakti Mahotsav. Now, who can do this and who can perform this worship? Anybody above the age of 16, regardless of their gender, man, woman, anybody can do this practice and invocation. It is open to all seekers, regardless of whether you are initiated or not initiated. आपको दीक्षा मिली है, नहीं मिली है, हर कोई इसको कर सकता है. इसके लिए दीक्षा अनिवार्य नहीं है इस ध्यान और जप को करने के लिए, क्योंकि ये स्पेशल माँ के प्राकट्य दिवस पर माँ की अनुकंपा, माँ की कृपा के रूप में हम सबको मिल रहा है. It is open to all householders, all homemakers. There is absolutely no restriction to menstruating women. अगर आप रजस्वला हैं, आपके पीरियड्स हो रहे हैं, आप प्रेग्नेंट हैं, आप गर्भवती हैं, किसी भी स्थिति में हैं, आप माँ का आवाहन कर सकते हैं. कोई भी restriction नहीं है. If there is any questions, okay. आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट, उत्तर पूर्वी, किसी भी दक्षिण दिशा को छोड़ करके उत्तर पूर्वी, नॉर्थ ईस्ट, ईस्ट दिशा में बैठ करके जप को कर सकते हैं. इस जप को रिकमेंडेड है कि आप शाम के समय करें, पर क्योंकि श्राइन दिन के समय खुल जाएगी, तिथि का जब प्राकट्य होता है, तो आप कभी भी कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि माँ तो नित्य है, माँ तो शी इज इटर्नली प्रेजेंट एंड यू कैन call upon her anytime, multiple times during the day. It is although recommended that you do the japa at night after sunset. You can wear clean clothes, fresh clothes. Red is a recommended color, although not mandatory. कोई डाइटरी रेस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं है. आप सात्विक भोजन करें, वो श्रेयस्कर रहेगा. आप कहीं पर भी कर सकते हैं साधना को, कहीं पर भी साफ स्वच्छ स्थान पर बैठ करके. कोशिश करें कि उसी स्थान पर माँ का आवाहन आप रोज करें तो अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि जैसे हम वेट करते हैं ना, शक्तियां भी वेट करती हैं. तो इट सेट्स इन अ डिसिप्लिन, सेम टाइम, सेम प्लेस, इन द सेम वे वी कीप डूइंग आवर इन्वोकेशन. तो शक्ति का एक संचय होता है, एक वी स्टार्ट collecting, we start harnessing this energy better. And there is no need for any brahmacharya, किसी भी abstinence की जरूरत नहीं है. It is not mandatory, although it is recommended. So if anybody has any questions, we can take it up, Vikramji.
Jai Shri Mansi ji, thank you so much for the session. Yeah, I think there are a couple of questions that I'll just come to. So if I understand this correctly, Mansi ji, when we go into the Tantra Sadhana app, the secret shrine would have opened. We get the instructions from Master Vedavyas there, and then go first do the Dhyan Shlok. And while we do the Dhyan Shlok, we just try to visualize the Ma in the form that is mentioned. The meaning is also given in the app itself. So you can pause, read the meaning once, understand the interpretation of the verse, so that you can visualize Ma in your eyes, and that would be the way to do Dhyan Shlok. Correct, Mansi?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. We had received some feedback and some queries from some sadhaks saying that they find it difficult to read Sanskrit and read it in the speed in which we chant the Dhyana Shloka. That is why today's visualization has been done, although I know, I'm sorry, we overstepped the time quite a bit, but I went ahead and did it because जो हमने visualization किया है आज, वो एग्जैक्टली उसका मीनिंग वही है जो उन ध्यान श्लोकों का है. तो आप एक सार तत्व से we understand that what is it that we are meditating upon, what is the form that we are calling upon. So all that we need to do is to recall this form while the chant is going on, without worrying whether I've understood or not, or whether I'm in sync with the speed of the dhyana mantra or not. It's important that we seat her gloriously in our heart, we call upon her, we visualize her form as is described, and we can always come back to this recording if we want to recollect and recall what is it that we are trying to say in those dhyana verses, what is the meaning. Exactly based on that meaning was today's visualization.
Got it.
It is just to help us visualize and then stay with the sound of the dhyana verses, knowing that her presence is being called upon, is being invoked. So that from there, from that bhav, we carry on in that bhav and move to the japa. Again, the japa, when we do the japa, there is no need to visualize anything except for recalling the mantra syllable by syllable, recalling the sound of the mantra. Even if we are doing a mental japa or a vachik japa, or we are simply listening and following the japa verses, which is in the potent Jagrat voice of Swamiji. So that itself is enough to invoke and call upon Divine Mother. We just have to stay with the sound. We have to recall the presence with the sound, because she is Sarva Mantratmika. She is in the form of that mantra. Her body is not Mansmay. Her body is made of mantras. Her luminous body is Swayam Prakashit with those mantras, which is coming out of that Vinanad. So we have to just keep recalling that sound. That sound is her presence with the mantra. There is no need to visualize anything further.
Got it. Thank you so much, Mansi ji. So in the Dhyan Slok, we visualize, and then in the Bij Mantra, we just hear the sound and then
We do the japa.
do the japa. Yeah, focus on the japa itself and not on the form. I think this distinction is very important. It helped me a lot. So those of you who are going to do the, please, all of you, firstly, thank you for giving us this extended time. We were trying to finish this a little earlier, but then, I think we wanted to do full justice also to the verses and then explain the beauty and the visual form of Ma, and Mansi ji went into her bhav as well, which was very, very nice as a sadhak. So thank you for giving us that extra time. We are wrapping up in just a minute. Those of you who are, please update the app. We've released a new update just a few days ago. And what you can do is, because last time around, those of you who are performing the Dhyan Slok and Bij Mantra in the world, you might have had a little wait time to download the world. So this time we have released a feature where you can go to settings and pre-download the worlds. So, and it will download in the background. You don't need to wait. So it will continue. It let it take, depending on our internet, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, how much ever time it takes. It will work in the background. It will download all the assets. So when you actually perform the ritual, there is no wait time for you. Please use this. We'll also put up the information in the Tantra Circle groups. We hope that this time around, when you perform the rituals, there won't be any delay for you, and you can fully immerse yourself in the bhav and take the best of this auspicious time. If you have any questions, please write to us, sarv@tantrasadhana.app. And your feedback matters a lot to us. Please do send us your feedback, and we will definitely act upon it. Our aim is very, very simple: to help all of us get in connected with Ma and perform our practices authentically. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great Shakti Mahotsav. Mansi ji, thank you so much. Jai Sri
I just do the closing verses because I invoked upon Ma. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. We'll see you all again. Jai Shri Ram.